We were just talking about compacts. A lot of Republicans were arguing early on in the session, those compacts don't matter much without medical malpractice reform. This was yet again something that you had been calling for years. You got a version of it done this year. A significant part of the call behind medical malpractice reform was these high insurance premiums that doctors were facing. What guarantees do we have that with this, now the law of the land, that we'll start to see those premiums go down for providers?
Right. Well, I would love to tell you that every bill I sign, I guarantee is going to have the impact that we believe it's going to have. If I could do that, we'd never need another legislative session. Everything is just fine. You need multiple sessions. But here's what gives me great confidence. We were such an outlier in occurrences, in punitive damages, in unlimited liability, in the lowest level burden of proof to bring punitive damages, that there was no review panel, that it became a strategy for the highest possible settlement. Had very little to do with proving out whether or not you had a legitimate malpractice claim, which meant then nobody would sell insurance here. And their payouts were so high that we were such an outlier that those premiums, because that's how insurance companies can guarantee they can pay it out. They charge you more.
So are they gonna lower things? I mean, I don't think insurance companies are necessarily renowned for lowering the prices of things. Yeah.
Well, but the difference now is we're not an outlier. So more companies will sell. We're more competitive. And if they don't, now you've got a bad faith insurance environment. That gives you a different set of legal tools. And more importantly, if you have more physicians and more healthcare practitioners in the state who are all collectively buying insurance, that changes the marketplace. It's going to be driven by the private sector, but it's not impossible that the next governor is going to have to say, here's what will happen if you won't sell insurance in the same way you do in Colorado and in Arizona and in Nevada and in Texas and in Oklahoma and in Louisiana and in New York and in California. I'll sue you. And that's what's going to happen.
So there may be more steps to come.
And hospitals will do it, and the MCOs will do it. So I'm pretty bullish. I'd like it to happen tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see about how long, but I'm feeling as good as you can. And the most important thing about what we've done is that physicians didn't want to practice here, wouldn't come and wouldn't stay. That climate changes rapidly, in my opinion, because of this law.
And now it wasn't all wins. You had some big wins this session, but it wasn't all wins.
Let's just do wins. Come on.
I got to switch to some of your losses, including the Clear Horizons Act. Yep. That was a biggie. That was meant to solidify in law your climate goals that you set out early on in your tenure as part of executive order. That didn't happen. So how do you feel potentially leaving office with those goals still simply being executive orders that are really at the whim of the next governor?
Yeah, well, I'm feeling as good as you can. I mean, I want to do a couple things. I was really interested, so I want to really highlight the courage of the pro tem. I had a bill ready to go that's just the codification. I mean, what she did in this bill that was really good, that I don't think enough people know about, is if you're below 10,000 metric tons of carbon in a year, you're exempt. It is harder for smaller businesses. This is not to tell New Mexicans that we don't care about those emissions. We care. But she created an on-ramp, if you will, for those smaller industries that may not have the same tools available to move beyond that as quickly as everybody else. And the big actors is where we want the biggest reduction. That's why we focused on oil and gas and utility sector with both our methane rules and oil and gas and ozone precursors and the utility sectors first. I don't want them investing in dirty energy, right? We focused in a place that would give you the biggest benefits. She really had a smart design. I think we'll see what we need in the 60-day session.
All right. Public safety. You had a signature gun control bill fail. That was Senate Bill 17. You have prioritized public safety, crime fighting more broadly throughout your entire tenure as governor. And I wonder if you see this as I do, that it has become a real sticking point within the Democratic Party.
Yes.
In New Mexico and maybe more broadly. But how would you like to see Democrats proceed in
I
this
think they have to own that we have a public safety problem in New Mexico. Here's the problem, I think, with the Democratic Party in general, is that we are the party of, and I'm proud of that. That's why I'm one of the multitude of reasons. We tell the truth. We're evidence-based. We believe in science. There is real work behind doing exactly how you started this interview. There is evidence about reducing risk, reduce poverty. People need jobs. They need a fair chance. You have to reduce risks. You have to have real behavioral health services. All the things that we know make a difference. But those in a vacuum will never be enough. Just like if you tried to arrest every person for everything, we're going to arrest everyone who by accident drops a gum wrapper. This is not going to make any of us safer. This makes no sense whatsoever. You have to do both. You need real accountability. You need real measures for safety. And you have to keep leaning in to root causes of crime. And what I end up with by the Democratic Party around the country and here is you pick one or maybe the other.
And it's the root causes that they're picking?
They're picking root causes, but we have done a mountain of work that they should be really proud of. You should be doing the same thing on the public safety side.
You think that'll resonate in the midterms?
I believe that it does. I think I am not the DNC, and I can't predict to you how Americans or libertarians and independents and all folks who are not registered Democrats are feeling about a number of these issues.
Sure.
But unless you feel safe in your community, businesses aren't going to keep coming. People will move out of their neighborhoods. We're not going to be able to redevelop. We're going to continue to have real risks. You have to reconcile. It is never one or the other. A robust, holistic way to lean into democratic values is to show that the investment in our values will make a difference short-term and long-term, but accountability should not be partisan issues. Those are common sense solutions that are required always, and you should be right-sizing it all of the time. That's my message to New Mexico Democrats.
By the time this airs, your last regular legislative session will have been officially behind you. You've signed what you're going to sign, and you're leaving office at the end of the year. So what else, as the executive, regardless of what the lawmakers will do in partnership with you, what do you want to get done for the rest of the year?
Well, I want New Mexicans to know that I've got a robust set of priorities between now and just over 9 months. I need to do my math.
Yeah, something about that.
One, I want all of the things that we need to finish building, like the Literacy Institute. I want to walk through those doors. I want to do another stunning increase this summer. So let's beat 17,000 kids in structured literacy tutoring. Let's add, I'm going to go big, another 10,000 students, and let's have another double-digit literacy increase, and let's see it take hold in mid-schools. Let's announce again a stunning increase in graduation rates, and not just be where everybody else is at 80%. Let's get to 87 or maybe even 90%, showing that we can get huge things done in just 9 months. Let's get more kiddos into the reading at grade level in mid-schools. Let's have more of our challenge classes for mid-school boys and girls who are typically our high dropout rates. Let's show child well-being in the context of CYFD. We've had a stunning positive record in CARA. Let's not have one slip up. That's a hard thing to say that we'll do. It won't be for lack of trying. That means the whole of government is going to keep leaning into those issues in CYFD. Let's get more high performing hospitals into that high performing range between now and the end of 9 months. Let's make sure that competency and danger to self are beginning to show real improvements. And last but not least, let's move people in to affordable houses statewide. We can build far more than 10,000 homes in a year. Let's make sure that we get to closer to 25,000. That's a really heavy lift, but if you don't set remarkable goals, nobody will do them for you. You have to set that up and create that kind of competitive spirit and that can-do attitude for New Mexicans statewide. And that's exactly what I intend on doing.
Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, thank you.
You're welcome.